There it is. Okay. Ha! Ha ha! There it is. Ha! Hey guys, and welcome to GT Not Live, where it's another day and another opportunity to do FNAF speculation, because apparently, the last teaser for FNAF Security Breach, this release of this brand new website, I think came out about like a week and a half, 2 weeks ago, and we're like, oh, every week there's gonna be a new episode of this Freddy Fazbear's Pizza, like this old Hanna-Barbera style cartoon. And then a week went by and we're like, well, I guess nothing happened there. Well, lo and behold, must have taken them a little bit longer to do the animation or something, because we are here and there is more to talk about. And you guys were asking me a lot to talk about it. So here we are. Let's just, discuss all things FNAF and see where things are related. And real quick, I think it's particularly interesting because going into Security Breach, I felt like I had a really solid understanding of what this plot was going to be, right? Based on where the series had gone to and the clues that we had been kind of seeded through all the other stuff up to where Security Breach was first supposed to release, like last year, right? So, if you refresh yourself all the way back to a year ago, I steep myself in this stuff, so it kind of comes off the top of my head, but, I don't expect you to know a year ago's lore at this point. But basically, where things had sat, right, was you had Glitchtrap. He had taken over Vanny as this reluctant follower, where she maybe had been introduced via the game's source code FNAF VR, and she's like, oh, I'm interested in this program, and then this program takes over her mind, and then we had this whole sequence of events through like Halloween updates and Curse of Dreadbear and this and that, where you have her talking to Glitchtrap, and Glitchtrap's trying to like kill people, and she's like, I don't know about this anymore, and she's like, make a mask of a bunny, and she's like, okay, I'll make a mask of a bunny, and she's like, you're gonna be a good servant to me, and she's like, I don't know about this. So that's where kind of like that was at the end of like Halloween updates. Over in FNAF AR world, there was starting to get clues also related to this, right? You had the character of Ness, and we were seeded out the knowledge that this character Ness, short for Vanessa, we presumed, was doing weird Google searches on her work website, basically being like, how do I get someone to stop controlling me? Or how much can I kill someone, without them actually dying? How much blood can they lose? Like all these really weird searches in her search engine that were flagging the system, and her coworkers were like, hey, we're kind of concerned about you, what's going on? And you could see that the influence of Glitchtrap was guiding her search history, but mixed into that were these indications or allusions to her being, again, that reluctant follower. She wasn't completely subsumed by Glitchtrap, and she wanted to escape his control, right? She was innocent in some way. She had been taken advantage of by him, misled by him, whatever, and now she was kind of the puppet. She was a puppet for Glitchtrap. And so that's where we were. And I'm like, okay, here's the new game where clearly Vanessa is this evil serial killer. You see her hopping down the hallways in the trailers, this and that. And everything that we were seeing up to that point was leading up to this idea of like, okay, Vanessa, maybe we can redeem her, maybe not, but it's about this duality of this character, right? Do we trust this person to be who she really is? Is she actually completely under the control of Glitchtrap? What's going on, right? And presumably Glitchtrap now wants to kind of maybe take control of other people. Maybe he's in the minds of other people, but that was kind of like the core of Security Breach, right? Year ago. Now, as of last week or 2 weeks ago when we first did an analysis of the Security Breach like leaked trailers, now we're starting to see weird tentacle monsters, maybe. We're starting to see, animatronics that have been subsumed by some evil entity, that look like horrific, like the security robots that are wandering around the pizzeria. All of a sudden, what started as, I have a good solid understanding of what we're going to expect out of this game when it comes out, it's starting to, you know, either they're adding in more stuff. Maybe in the last year they've pivoted the story, kind of like how Game of Thrones pivoted. Like they're like, oh, people are onto us, they know what's coming, so let's change the story a little bit. I don't know, but all of a sudden we're starting to see more appearances of more characters that I'm like, don't really know how that actually, like, how does a weird tentacle monster fit into, you know, a story about Vanny and Vanessa and this like serial killer on the loose? Is there other evil entities? We're not sure. So anyway, a lot of you were hitting me up saying, hey, the website's updated. There's a new episode of the Security Breach show that they've kind of created. So I react to it. Let's do some live theorizing as we've been doing for stuff lately. So let's do it. So without any further ado, this is episode 2 of the Security Breach teaser trailers, I guess. Maybe, I'm assuming we'll get another number in the date. I'm assuming maybe there's another like glitched screen if I were to suspect anything. You know, last time there was the glitched screen that you had to like pause on one frame and you saw it. So this is us going in blind. Let's just react to it, see what's going on, and find out what more we can piece together. And again, like, it's a game to me. Like, to me, I think the most fun part of a lot of this is just trying to predict the story of the game before the game comes out and then being completely wrong about it. But it's fun to play this game along with the developers, along with the people who are marketing the game, whatever. So let's see what they got in store. Matt, do you have it all pulled up?
Yep.
Perfect. So here we are back on the securitybreachtv.com website. And you'll see Matt has some Reddit things that I guess we're going to react to afterward. But okay, Security Breach TV website. Immediate things. So I'm trying to see if there's anything different with the scroll over. So this is still stay away, stay away. What I would appreciate a fan reference here. Like, we all know that the fan is the true villain of the game. The fact that the fan is turned off actually makes me feel much safer. I'm not afraid of my fingers getting sliced off. Matt, were you instilled, maybe this is after your time, when I was growing up, these sorts of fans were common, and like my parents instilled a deathly fear of them within me. Like, don't go anywhere close to these, otherwise your whole hand will get severed off by the blades of death.
Interesting. No, for me, that was the robot voice modulator. You know, you get real close to it and beep, boop, boop, beep.
The robot voice modulator? What? Sorry. Sorry. What? Where is the logical... I'm just so confused by what you just said. First off, I'm talking about a standing fan that exists within a household to cool you off.
Yeah.
Yes. What is... robot voice modulator?
Have you never put your face close to a fan and talked into it?
Yes.
And it sounds like a robot voice?
Okay.
It's the robot voice modulator.
Okay. Oh, so you're saying that the fan, to you, was a robot voice modulator?
Correct.
Okay. Okay, the way that was phrased was a little confusing. I see now.
I don't understand what's confusing about the fan being the robot voice modulator.
You didn't say that!
That's
First
exactly
off,
what I said.
Okay, fine. Yes, you can speak through the fan, but you had to watch out because if you touch the fan, your fingers were literally going to jump off of your body.
No, you try to stick your finger in the gate.
You are an insane... What is wrong with you, child?
Oh, come on. It's like plastic.
Okay, see, but that's the difference. See, like, I grew up in an era of metal. Oh, we had hard metal fans, and you were, like, that thing was being taken clean off at that point. Yeah.
We had a fan that didn't have the cage on it.
See, oh my gosh, that's insane. Yeah, no, everything was caged, and you were going to die even with the cage. Like, that thing was dangerous, so... Anyway, long story short, my recurring joke about the fan being the true villain, that's why. Like, the fan to me is literally the scariest thing. What's this? Okay, so So last time, I believe I did this last time where I clicked on the thing and nothing happened. But now if you click it, it switches over to Monty. So this isn't the new, So this isn't the usual Security Breach logo, which is Freddy. This is Monty Gator silhouette, which is interesting. Okay, let's talk about Monty in a minute, because I have some thoughts about Monty. Stay away. Did they, wait, because last time it was the cup, wasn't it? Oh, they changed it. It's a different boop. It's a different boop. That's great. Stay away. What else we got? We got nothing over there. Stay away. This is the button that starts it. This is new, right? So the pizza and the chips were there last time, I believe. This is new, though. Huh. What is that? Is that... Sorry, I'm just going to zoom in here for a second. Is that... Oh, that's weird. So that's like a novelty popsicle like you would get from like a store like a SpongeBob Pop or whatever. But that's Monty again. That's really weird. So we've got Monty here. We've got Monty there. Huh. So either they're like really hyping up Monty Gator or he's more... And it's interesting too because I believe it was in one of the previous kind of like live reaction theorizing episodes that we did when we were looking through the images that Dawko had gotten. Actually, I'm going to pull up a new thing here if I can find... Okay, this contains potentially sensitive content. Okay, that's why. So, here are the images from this charity live stream that Dawko did, and Steel Wool was giving him these images, right? So, this was 1, 2, 3. But the reason I'm pulling this out is because when we were reacting to these live, I remember something about Monty Gators stood out. That's Project Hex, that's his thing. Let me see if I can find it real quick. This is his Gator Golf. There was something about his booth, I remember, because each character, there's a lot of Monty Gator stuff that they released. Maybe it's because he's the new guy, maybe it's because he's interesting. I said this was weird because it seemed like a weird perspective. Like you see elsewhere here that there's a slide or maybe like a lazy river court kind of thing. But here we're looking outside of his mouth, so maybe we're inside the suit, which is odd. Glam Rock. There's a bunch. Wow, he got a bunch of images. It's really cool. It's a beautiful game. I'm so excited to see what it actually looks like. So this is Chica's. Chica's looked fine. Everyone has their green room, right? Chica's looked fine. It was... here's Roxanne Wolf's looked fine. This is Monty Gator's. And remember, we looked at this one, and Monty Gator was, like, wrecked, right? His chairs are toppled over. His wall is, like, falling apart. Things here are just kind of a hot mess. And I'm like, wow, that's a weird detail that Monty's is kind of so ruined. And option one is maybe it's just a character choice, right? Like, maybe it is... him just being like the proverbial rock star who's badly behaving and, you know, for those of you who aren't aware, like the stereotype of being a rock star is always this idea of, you know, you go to the hotel room and you just trash the place and then you move on to your next tour location. It doesn't matter because you're a rock star. So maybe that is just the personification of what Monty Gator is. But this is now another time that we've seen him kind of like be differentiated from all the other animatronics in some way. So he's wrecked his room. Maybe that means he is, maybe that means that he is kind of like, has his own volition in this world. Maybe he's the true antagonist. Like maybe in this world where like Vanny has been possessed by Glitchtrap, maybe Glitchtrap is also in control of Monty in some way. Because again, here we have him being called out multiple times very specifically. Oh, hey! There's a rollover here. There's a rollover here now that it's just an alligator emoji, which is really cute. I love that. So it's one of those things at this point where the game and a lot of the promotion around this game keeps calling him out as a different character from all the rest, right? You don't see Rockstar Freddy being called out at all still. Throughout all of this, like Rockstar Freddy is, not Rockstar Freddy, Glamrock Freddy, sorry. Glamrock Freddy, we still don't have a lot of indication about what he's up to or what he's doing. Chica, we see her kind of wrecked, but other than that, yeah, it seems to keep going back to Monty, which is really interesting. I don't know if that's a misdirect on the part of Steel Wool, like, hey, you thought it was all about Vanny, but it's actually about Monty, but it's actually about Vanny. Or if they're leaning in on him because he's the new character, or if there is some sort of lore importance here, because he keeps being pulled out as like the focal piece. So that's really interesting. I'm really curious to see where it kind of goes from there. Or, yeah, maybe it's just, hey, it's Monty week, and maybe next week will be Roxanne Wolf week, or next week will be, you know, Rockstar Chica week. So anyway, let's see. So I think we've covered everything here. Source code. Let me just do quick source code before we hop into the actual video. Developer tools. Again, I don't know if maybe week over week they added anything into the secret text here and some of the hidden text on the website. Site containers, storage. This looks pretty normal to me. Security website, script, Google Tag Manager, Helvetica, everyone's favorite fonts. Yeah, nothing exciting down there. Okay, so with that being said, let's hop into whatever this is. Okay, so this is episode 2, Freddy and Friends on Tour. Oh, wait, let me pause it real quick. So, okay, everyone was giving us a hard time about this one in the last reaction video. It's delivery. Pizza delivery van. Duh. That was really stupid of us. You know. Good. Well done, us. Well done. Smartest channels on YouTube right here.
Yeah, as soon as someone called it out, I was like,
right? It's like had to just face palm to the max. It's like, no, of course it was delivery. Well done, guys. Thank you for calling it out. Just in the moment. I don't know why it didn't occur to us at all. Maybe it's because I don't get delivery all that often. Do you get delivery, Matt?
I do. I'll take the fault.
Are you rich?
No.
Because Steph and I, we're like, we can't afford this.
Well, I have enough roommates to where it's like we split the delivery.
Oh, see, that helps. See, when it's Steph and I, we're like, oh, well,
Yeah.
this is our singular bank account.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, this hurts. But if you're splitting that, like,
Yeah, you split delivery 4 ways. That's just a tip.
yeah, I was gonna say that's not nearly as bad. But yeah, that added delivery cost, man, it is
Oh, it's
brutal.
crazy.
It's brutal. All right. So anyway, it's pizza delivery. Matt had no excuse because he gets delivery all the time. Me, on the other hand, I have an excuse because I'm cheap. Also, I did see someone call out. Here, let's watch it, because you have it pulled up, right, in a separate window, Matt?
That is correct.
Okay, so we'll watch it, react in live, but instead of me pausing it and not being able to point to things, we'll just react to it on this tab right over here. So let's do this. Okay, so similar opening to the first one. It's delivery on tour. So this looks like it might be a pizzeria based on the red and white stripes. This actually might be Fredbear's Family Diner or something, because you have the star motif. This is following the exact same model as the first one. Way to save on animation costs. This is very true to Hanna-Barbera. Oh, Chica, okay. So Chica does not actually say words. Good to know. Yeah, this is the exact same thing as the first. Even this sequence is the exact same thing. So, true story, to save on animation costs, wait. Oh, there was a glitch, wasn't there? Hanna-Barbera would do the exact same thing where they just like recycle the same running sequences and put them against different backgrounds. Even this. This is him popping out of like, what, a barrel or something last time? Oh, a flower pot, I think it was. He's an animatronic the whole time. Okay. No reaction. Okay, so this is largely similar.
We're jumping and rocking till the sun goes down, and the moon is shining forever and ever, forever and ever.
Uh-huh. Oh, weird. Okay. Huh. All right. See, and it's a different logo. You can't save this, is still a thing. What's gonna stick here? Ooh, the one stuck. One stuck and 2 stuck. Okay. All right. So, a lot to talk about there. So first off, now let's hop over to this. Okay, so it's delivery. We know someone called this out, and I saw this on Reddit after the first episode, and I thought it was interesting. I don't know if it's true, but I thought it was interesting at least. Where someone's like, "Is that the FNAF 4 box?" It's similar. It definitely looks very similar, but it also looks like a general case that it could be. I'm not 100% sold on it. I like the idea. Trust me, I like any time a Chekhov's gun can pay off in some way. I'm not 100% convinced, but I like the thought. Maybe that'll be our personal headcanon for this one. Freddy and Friends on Tour. It's interesting to know that, again, like just reinforcing the idea that Foxy is not actually part of the band, really, which is an odd little detail, and kind of goes to what we talked about in our most recent FNAF theory, where it's like, hey, we know that Freddy and Bonnie have been together since the very beginning, or at least since like very, very early days. Those were the first 2 connected, right? But Foxy and Chica, you know, they're later additions to this crew. How did they come to this crew? Where did they come from? It's something that we've never really stopped to think about or talk about, because at the very beginning of the series in FNAF 1, they're presented as this unit, right? These 4 animatronics that have always been together. But looking at the history of the franchise, the evolution of those characters and where they join is something that we've never done a deep dive into. And especially with Chica, there's been some clues seeded out that, like, hey, maybe she was a later addition to this crew than you might have expected, or she didn't quite fit in, or maybe she was part of the Mediocre Melodies or something, or Chica's Party World, or some other thing that got subsumed into the Fazbear brand, which is cool. I've always sat on doing a theory, maybe one day I will, but sat on doing a theory of like the actual business structure of Fazbear Entertainment, because it's like, this is your umbrella corporation, and these are your like subsidiaries, and this is your sister location. Like, ever since the release of Sister Location, I'm like, man, we should do like an episode that just looks at corporate structures and use Freddy Fazbear's as, you know, our jumping off point into like, what does it actually mean to incorporate? Because, you know, that's something that a lot of YouTubers have to figure out and go through as like they go from just like, I'm doing this in my basement to like, hey, I'm hiring employees. We have to like follow actual business practices. And I think a lot of it does apply to the narrative of Fazbear, right? Where Fazbear Entertainment, how does that relate to Freddy Fazbear's Pizzeria, its offshoots, sister location, Circus Babies? Is it owned by the same umbrella corp? Is there another corporation on top of that? All of that. There's interesting business elements woven throughout this whole thing that actually has bearing on the timeline of events, which is something not a lot of people have talked about because it's boring, maybe not as exciting, and also not as in your face as like, hey, there's an animatronic that's about to chomp your face off, but might actually lead to clues in much the same way that like, hey, let's analyze the paychecks and see like if that was minimum wage, when would that have kind of set us in a timeline standpoint. Like I said here, this looks to be like a small pizzeria situation here with a classic like red and white stripe. So maybe this is kind of like a riff on Fredbear and Friends, or like a Fazbear Family Diner kind of thing. Fredbear's Family Diner. That's kind of solidified too, like the old wood paneling of the walls. You know, these sorts of like comedically large star doors reminds me of the sorts of things that you would see in like a Chuck E. Cheese, where like, oh, here's our character mascot coming out of his booth or whatever. Again, it feels like this might be and also the iconic checkerboard floor, right? So even though throughout this it feels like we're in a generic building, it actually, this looks like we are in an early version of one of the Fazbear pizzerias, or one of these characters' pizzerias. The checkerboard floor, the stars. I'd be curious if this is, this feels like it's just identical, right, to the first one? There's a glitch here? No, there's a glitch here in the first one, not here, okay. You'll notice this time I remembered that we have closed captioning on, because like we've talked about in other franchises, it's never been done with Freddy's, but with other franchises, when there's a YouTube component to it, like Walton Files, when we did live reactions there, closed captions sometimes hold clues. So I was curious to see if there might be any secret clues in the actual closed captions of these. Right now, I haven't seen anything. I also didn't see any in the first, but maybe moving forward there could be. Hint, hint, steel wool if you want to find a new place to hide stuff. There it is. Okay, so we're running. There was a glitch when they were at the doors, right? It was somewhere around here. There it is. Okay. Ha! Ha ha! There it is. Ha! So it's Monty Gator again. Okay, so expecting that there was going to be a glitch, I pulled this up. All right. So what do we got this time? We've got... So it's, again, it is Monty being called out yet again. So it is either full-on Monty week, or there is something special about him that's causing them to continually, like, single him out as a character. This feels like one that we might want to actually bump up the vibrance just to get more saturated colors here. Nothing much. It is interesting. He's, again, look here. I'm noticing that he has a lot of the same cracks that Chica did in the last of those Dawko images that we were talking about before, right? So Dawko had these images, and the last of them, we were close to the end on here. There's Fazbear, there's this one. So you'll notice here that she's all cracked. It looks like she's been kind of like thrown away or wasted. And here, same thing. We have those same cracks, which again makes me wonder, is this a rejected animatronic? Are they kind of like the wizards of this world? Or when they're cracked, is that maybe some sort of corruption? Maybe that is indicative of like the glitch trap corruption happening in them. This is a weird angle, so it's hard to tell. It does look like it would be hard for like Gregory or whatever human character might potentially fit in there to look through his head, like I had theorized. Like maybe there's room to like look through his head, but to what I was talking about earlier about like, oh, maybe that's a shot from like a first person perspective out of the animatronic. Looks like he might not be big enough to kind of support that idea. He's got the same mohawk. It's a little bit shorter. Teeth, things like that. Again, more cracks down here. Nothing in the corner except for here. Rev, what is that? Rev 531. So last time was what? Alpha Z groups, Alpha 6 groups, Alpha Z groups 6?
I think it was Z.
Alpha Z groups. Rev 531. Alpha Z groups. So one of these things, Alpha Z groups. So I see this, right? And Rev 531. I don't, again, like my first impulse would be like, hey, let's go on to Google and just like Rev, just do a basic search. There's a 521. Oh, or did I type it wrong? Revolution eyeglasses. It's a promotion. Oh, hey, here's the Reddit. So we got Alpha Z 6 groups and Rev 531. Yeah, I was gonna say it could be revision. It could be revolution. Anyone got any ideas? So Rev might be revamp, as in like they've revamped Montgomery 531 times. That's a lot of times to revamp. It's obviously hinting at a release date. I don't know about that. Maybe it's a room number. Designer has OCD. Rev 531 is either a model number. I think a lot of these are really valid. One of the other things that comes to mind, though, for me at least, is I see REV 531. I could also see this being an alphanumeric code, right? Where like R is like maybe they are seeding out to us a substitution cipher code of some form of like, hey, R is 5, E is 3, V is 1, or 1, 3, 5. So these are odd numbers, 1, 3, 5. The first three odd numbers, VER, for 1, 3, 5. That would be A, C, A, B, C, D, E, A, C, E, A-C-ver. No, I'm trying to like if I were to actually just do a basic substitution of these, REV, ECA, Rev, Eka, ABCDE, yeah. Yeah, maybe not. So anyway, I see a 3 letters, 3 numbers, and immediately I'm like, oh, maybe they're paralleling these two. Maybe it's starting to seed out a code. Maybe this is a substitution code, and these are already like replacements. Because Alpha Z makes me think of A to Z, 6 groups. So maybe we will be presented over the course of these weeks with like 6 groups of alphanumeric kind of codes, and that in turn will lead us to something that we can use down the line, or like you said, revision. I like the idea that this is like short for revision or revamp, or it doesn't seem quite enough to me. It feels like this is starting to seed out some sort of cipher, especially when you title it with Alpha Z or lead it off with Alpha Z. So I think we should be on the lookout for 6 groups of Alpha Z codes, maybe. That's kind of my interpretation. I still don't think we have enough clues as to what this is, but that's really fascinating. I'm excited about that one. I'm also excited about Montgomery. I was cautiously, he's also missing his sunglasses, it looks like, which is his like iconic like star glasses. So again, like alluding to maybe he's in disrepair now or he's falling apart. Okay. And obviously we have the big thing at the end. So this is obviously kind of a repeat of the last sequence where they were running between the trees. He's peeking out, just like the pot. Hanna-Barbera for the win. Oh my gosh, Foxy was an animatronic the whole time. Wah. Even not in the sound effect.
Into the jalopy, gonna go for a ride.
So, okay, real quick, I noticed this last time. So there's a second bunny. I don't know if that's important or if these are just like added characters. It is interesting though that if we are in a pizza, oh, and look, we are on a stage. So this actually kind of coincides with kind of what I was saying before. Like we are in an early version of a pizzeria restaurant, as evidenced by there being a stage and there is pizza here. So unlike the first one where we were kind of in a general stage out in the wilderness, now we're actually in a physical location. It seems like it might be an early location of Fazbear's. And you have these other characters. Like you have another version of Bonnie. And here you have this pink chicken, which is interesting. It also, I see this pink chicken, and it's just because we just did the theory on it, but it makes me think of the Mediocre Melodies again, where in that episode I talk about like, whoa, the Mediocre Melodies, there's this mention of a weirdo chicken animatronic. And at the time, literally like a week ago, there was one chicken animatronic in this franchise and her name was Chica. Now all of a sudden you have like a brand new chicken character introduced. So maybe this is a Mediocre Melody. I don't know. Maybe I jumped the gun there. All of those episodes, all of those theories were a little bit more stretchy than I usually like them to be, but I liked them enough and I thought they had enough meat on the bone to like chew on that I'm like, this is worth sharing with everyone. But I will admit those weren't like the most fully fleshed out or thought out ones. Like I know Henry technically maybe survives until the end of the series in FNAF 6 because has that whole call about like, I'm gonna burn you now. But who knows? This is a franchise where people are like reborn multiple times. So was it actually him? Who knows? Hopping in the Jopley, going for a ride.
Shop with a friend. We're jumping and rocking till the sun goes down. And the moon is shining
Moon is shining
forever.
forever.
Forever and ever.
Okay, so this is it. This is the big draw here. So these are the two new animatronics that were teased out in the very first teaser of this game, right? The sun guy and the moon guy. Do they have names at this point? I don't know. Let's see. Yeah, okay. So this very clearly confirms, to me at least, that they are one and the same. Like that repeated flash there. And I mean, look, just their design too, right? Like the sun guy has a moon face. Like that kind of tells you like this is just the day-night cycle of this guy. Maybe he helps you during the day and then he attacks you at night. Maybe he attacks you all the time and he just changes his look, which honestly wouldn't surprise me at all. It's a cool design. I love that transition. And it makes me think that like his little sun spots will kind of like fold back in, during his transition or whatever. I don't know. Is he helpful? I don't think he's helpful. I think he's evil. They're all evil. All the animatronics are evil, right? All right, security breach. And then the last thing was obviously the date here. Which, okay, so if the 1 and the 2 are now solid, so we know it's the year 20-something, assuming it's this year, 10, or... It's not going to be October. I say that this is what, like, I'm predicting that this is going to be November, like, or mid-November. Right, it's got to be mid-November. So I'll clear my calendar, guys, for mid-November. That's what we'll do. Okay. So that's it. Let's see. So Matt, you pulled up a couple things of people reacting.
I did.
Okay, let's see what you got. So it's just the Freddy coming straight from you from the Freddy. Yeah, there's a ninja. Your banner's got a ninja reference. Okay. I haven't seen the most updated version of, I guess. Okay, here's the link to the episode. What do we got? I'm starting to notice a pattern. A swiper, no swiping. 42. Is the pattern that it's the same cartoon every time? Is that what it is? Because that's definitely a pattern. Notice a pattern. The trees, the doors. Oh, ha, ha, ha. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Oh, see, this has more than that one, though. You're right. There's definitely a visual pattern. I would hesitate to draw the actual parallels there. I like the comparison, though. Like, you're totally right, and it is definitely a repeated motif. I don't think there's enough right now to kind of validate, like, oh, yeah, it's one and the same. I think that's just a cool coincidence slash a just, like, design aesthetic, right? I wonder what flavor Monty Popsicle is. So someone else noticed the Monty Popsicle, yep. By Queen CJ. Queen CJ. Yeah, what flavor is Monty Popsicle? The thing is, those novelty pops, they're never good.
Oh, I like them.
You
The SpongeBob popsicle tastes good.
does it? What's it taste like? I haven't had a SpongeBob. Like,
Couldn't tell you.
like right, that's the thing. No,
but
no.
it tastes good.
Like back in the day, I would always go for the Mario Pop, and the Mario Pop would always have like the gumball nose.
Yeah.
See, that's the thing that gets it is like the gumball nose.
Yeah.
And even though, and here's the thing, the gum sucks.
Oh, it's horrible.
It's horrible.
Because it's been frozen.
It's been frozen, and it's this like garbage cheap gumball.
Yeah.
And you're breaking your teeth.
And it's like weirdly melted a little bit because
Yeah.
it's been like liquefied.
Yeah, it sucks.
Yeah.
And yet at the same time, I'm like, oh, that's so cool.
Yeah.
Humans are so stupid sometimes. Because it is. It's like, oh, this is a novelty. This is
Yeah.
amazing. See, where's Monty's gumball nose? That's what I want.
I feel like he tastes like the rest of them.
yeah,
They all
he,
taste
no,
the
he, yeah,
same.
he tastes like a SpongeBob pop, which tastes like a Mario pop, and they have all tasted like the Yogi Bear pop that I assume
Yeah.
existed way back in the 70s,
It's like
right?
this weird cardboard sherbet.
Yeah, it is. It's like a generic sherbet. Nowadays, so with Ollie being 3 years old, we have a kid, and so we're re-exposed to like these products that are specifically oriented towards kids, like these pops are. And you have like, it's unicorn pudding. And you're like, what's the flavor of this? And you're looking at it, and it's like, it's unicorn. And you're like, unicorn is not a flavor. I mean, maybe it tastes like rainbows and delight, but it is not a flavor that I'm familiar with. Same thing with dragon. For girls, there's unicorn.
Yeah.
For boys, there's dragon flavor pudding. And it's like, dragon is not, and I taste it, right? Because we've gotten them both, and I taste it, and it's like, it is generically sweet.
Do they taste different? The dragon and the rain?
They do slightly.
Really?
Yeah, the unicorn tastes, like if I were to most compare it, it's like cotton candy, right? It's like a less good version of cotton candy. And
Yeah.
Dragon was real general. Like dragon, I had a really hard time pinpointing.
It's so weird that we've gendered flavors.
Right, isn't that weird?
Like, that's
well, it's
so crazy.
it's less that the flavors are gendered, and it's more that the color palette is gendered, which in turn begets flavors. So the unicorn flavoring is pink and light blue, right? Which is girl colors, and as a result, when you see light blue, in general, that's associated with like cotton candy look, right? The dragon was like green and red, and I think that also coincides with like what the heck is this flavor? Like what do you flavor green? Like green is maybe like sour apple,
Yeah.
and red is kind of sour
I
apple.
feel like there's a food theory in there.
Yeah, there's a food theory probably
Yeah.
in there, and
Like the colors.
yeah,
the
what
taste
is
of colors.
a taste of colors, taste of pudding, stuff like that. Yeah, but anyway, yeah, I would assume that the flavor of Monty's popsicle here is. I like that he has this little smile too, the little white. The attention to detail there is really solid. What's this? Why are you showing me cockroaches? I think I know why the cockroaches on Chica is a lot darker than you think. Okay, so, this is FNAF VR, so this isn't Security Breach, this is just a general thing. Do cockroaches eat dead bodies? Cockroaches are omnivores that eat plants and meat. They have been recorded to eat human flesh of both living and dead, although they're more likely to take a bite of fingernails, eyelashes, feet, and hands.
They can bite?
Cockroaches?
Cockroaches can bite?
Sure.
No, I don't like that.
No?
Did you know that?
I guess I always kind of assumed that they could. Like, they got to eat somehow, right? And so they got to, like, be able to... Like, I don't care however their mandibles are, but at some point they got to be able to, like, bite and, like, chew something.
Could I, you're asleep, you wake up, cockroach bite?
Maybe. I don't know.
I
I'm
really
sorry.
like
I
That
put out a lot of cockroach traps, I guess. I don't know. I haven't come across that many cockroaches, I guess, in my life that I'm
Really?
like freaked out by
Welcome
them.
to the South.
It does.
They are everywhere.
I have noticed, like Panera the other day, I'm like, ooh, there's a cockroach in the corner. That's not great.
My high school was cockroach infested.
Yeah, well, I mean, in California has all sorts of weirdo bugs. It's terrible. But yeah, I do notice that the bugs here are a little bit different. But this is interesting. Hey, I appreciate the attention to detail, right? There are cockroaches crawling through Chica because there are dead bodies, presumably stuffed inside this animatronic. That's cool. That's a really good pull. I love that factoid. That's the sort of thing that is just a fun, like, you can't build a theory about it, but it's just a fun, like, if we didn't know that there were dead bodies stuffed in the animatronics, it'd be like, here's this cockroach. So that's a really cool observation. The bass is back. Really fun. I like that one a lot. Here we go. Similarities between the broken Monty and the old leaked designs. Ooh, old leaked designs, which could possibly be the finalized designs. Same eye holes. I guess. Yes. Identical teeth. He is an alligator. I mean, we've seen Monty before, haven't we? We've seen versions of Monty here somewhere, right? Is this identical back jaw shape? Yep. Color is more similar to that than the trailer. Okay, so his coloring is a little bit more similar to the trailer. Same face curve. Okay. Yes, the alligator animatronic looks similar to other versions of the alligator animatronic. Shorter mohawk, maybe? Oh, wait, there's 3 images here. Or did they just grab one of 3? Okay, here we go. Oh, this is leaked from a calendar that came out like a long, long time ago, I saw. And then it's the same thing. Okay. Yeah. Yep. They're the same animatronic. I agree. What else? So they're 100% the same animatronic. Oh, okay. This is the reference to. Yeah. So they came to the same conclusion. Yeah, they're the same. Yeah. See how you even see his frills pop out at the beginning, right? So here at the beginning, you see it's like a frame. It's literally a frame. So here you see him in his kind of like mid-state, right? He does not have his frills popped out, and then his frills pop out, making him fully into day cycle, and then he transitions over to night cycle. So yes, he is definitely the one animatronic. But again, a lot of new animatronics in this game that don't relate to like, hey, Vanny is a serial killer that's under the possession of someone else. Oh, someone else. Some very interesting observations about the image of Montgomery. And I think is older, more broken. So, okay, they know it's the same thing. Okay, much shorter mohawk. So maybe the mohawk like breaks off or something when he's broken up. Cracks like the ones on Glamrock Chica. Okay, so they know it's the same thing. Bare endo head like the ones in the older animatronics. That's interesting. Huh. So is it an older endoskeleton inside there? Different bottom jaw color. That's a good observation. Different looking nose from the Montgomery shown in the trailers. I have to really go back and look at the Montgomery in the trailers, don't I? Here, let me see if I can pull it real quick. Because now I'm curious, guys. Now I'm definitely curious. It is for security breach. I messed it up. Okay, let's see. Security breach. Oh wait, there. That one's just got the image right here. Trailers 1, 2, and 3. Thank you for putting them all together in one place. Gotta get that YouTube Red, Matt. YouTube Red makes all the difference. Then you can also watch. Oh, see, they knew! They knew! We were coming. They're coming for us. They're listening to us. Then you can watch that quality show, Game Lab. Brought to you by the one and only Game Theories channel. The most in-demand Season 2 series that YouTube has. Where do they all go up? Okay, where's the dramatic shot of them all? Where is it? Where are you at? Where are you at? Here we go. There. No, he has a short... Okay. If this is what we're comparing him against, maybe his snout is slightly longer. I don't know. I think it's same. Mohawk is also short. To me, same thing. Like, yeah, he's broken, but just like Glamrock Chica is broken too in one of those teasers. So I think this is totally... His teeth, yeah, are presumably longer. I will give you that. His eye holes. Same eye. I think they're largely the same, though. Maybe the eye holes are positioned more on the side, I guess, but I think that's just like an artistic choice than anything else. Lastly, PSA. The first and second episode of Freddy and Friends are pretty much exactly the same. Oh, they overlaid them. Great. Yep. They are overlaid so perfectly that they exactly match. Oh, even the bus tour is the same? Okay, so now we see the differences. One's in the woods, one's in the house. But everyone peeks out from behind a tree. Oh, yeah. It's I love it. It's great. Well done. Good overlay here. Oh, Foxy's slightly different. Chica makes a sound. Pulls it up. Surprise. Run away. I'm excited for the third one where it's going to be this again, but with Bonnie, and Bonnie having no reactions to any of these things. I'm assuming that that's what it's going to be. I believe you that this is identical. I don't think it's going to really reveal a whole heck of a lot. So anyway, there you have it, friends. My live reactions. I do know, wasn't there a leak that went around? Leak tentacle. And it was the tentacles that now appear in Security Breach look like supposedly fake leaks. Yeah, I saw some fake leaks going around. So I was curious about those. I don't know if people designed this or what. To me, it looks like maybe a fan creation. I don't know about the fake leaks. But it is interesting that someone designed a tentacle monster. I don't know if this came out before or after, but then we saw the tentacles sliding through. It's a cool design. It looks like a lot of tongues, honestly, which is pretty wacky. Don't know if that's real, but I'm intrigued, and I still am convinced that there is some sort of like tentacle monster in this new game, but we'll find out. Anyway, that is kind of my take. So big takeaways there. Montgomery seems much more important than we first expected. The Sun and Moon guy, definitely an animatronic that's going to be able to just like change form, which is, I think, officially the first time that we've seen an animatronic like able to change form and maybe attack patterns. I think that's true. I'd have to actually analyze whether that's true or not, but yeah, I don't think we've seen anyone who's able to like morph themselves, which is pretty cool. We're seeing Monty Gator have some sort of corruption, which is interesting. Maybe that is indicative of Glitchtrap taking things over. And yeah, a lot of cool stuff. And now we know it's coming out like mid-month. I would assume not October, because that seems a bit too close at this point. I would say probably no, and I think no, December is going to be too late. I would guess November would be the time, but we'll see as more of these dates kind of come rolling in. So anyway, thank you guys so much for watching. Thank you for sending me like the requests to cover this. I'm having a really good time with it. It's fun to just do these like live speculation and try to piece together these random assortment of clues. Hopefully you thought of something new and interesting through that. Maybe it sparked your own theories. Let me know down in the comments below. Again, also go over to the Five Nights at Freddy's Reddit community where they're always doing this sort of stuff. It's awesome. It's a great group. So thank you for watching. Thank you for supporting us on the channel. Thank you for helping us cross the LeVar Burton Change.org milestone, which is really exciting. And I will see you all in the next video. So until then, thanks for watching. It wasn't a live stream, but it was a video for you. See ya!